Hello, friends, and welcome. My name is Alejandro from Flow into Nature, and today we have a beginner class really helping to stretch out the entire lower body and really rinse out the spine. It's a really easy sequence that any of us can do. We might need some props if you have a strap. If you don't have one, you can always grab a belt or just grab a towel, something nice and long just to wrap around our foot. You'll see what I mean. And then as always, if you have a block, maybe a sturdy water bottle or a book that you can use, maybe you want to add a little bit of pressure onto it or just help support you to lift the ground a little bit higher. It's really easy, it's really simple. The idea is for us to develop a little bit more self-love, a little bit of more positive talk into our lives, and to bring in compassion and empathy into our lives. And the more we bring that in, the more we're able to just live in a more harmonious place all around. So let's go ahead, let's step onto the mat, let's have some fun. We're gonna get started seated. So come all the way down. If you do have a strap, we're going to create a little loop just so that we have this little circle. We'll be able to wrap it around the foot. We'll grab that, bring it to one side. We're going to start all the way on our back. So come to the mat. Bring the soles of your feet to touch with the knees open out wide into a Supta Baddha Konasana. You're welcome to start with your hands by your side. Maybe you want to bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly, and just begin to soften. Begin to calm the mind, to let go, maybe of any emotions, any thoughts that you may be holding on to at the moment, especially if they don't serve you, just to let them go. Leave them off the mat. If you need them, you can pick them up as you walk back off. Allow yourself to find a little bit more compassion, a little bit more self-love, allowing yourself to tell yourself that you love yourself and mean it. Maybe if you want, just before we start, add a little bit of a smile just for yourself. And then together, let's start to connect in with our breath. Let's exhale out all the air. Take a nice, easy breath in through the nose, filling into the belly, expanding into the chest. And then as you exhale, empty out the air in the lungs, and then the belly. We'll do 2 more rounds just like that. Inhale a little bit deeper to the belly, into the chest. And exhale, release, let it all go. One more, inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. And then open the mouth, exhale. Take a couple more breaths on your own. Maybe take a quick body scan just to notice how the body is feeling. If there's any tightness, any soreness in the body. Just to become aware of it, not to judge. So that as we move through today's class, we're able to move with more intention. We're able to move compassionately for the body so that we're able to make this practice always work for us. Together we'll take one more breath in and a breath out. If your eyes are closed, maybe you blink them open. We're going to bring our hands to the outer thighs just so that we can close the knees nice and gently. We're going to bring both knees into the chest. Just give yourselves a little bit of a hug and a squeeze. Maybe you rock a little side to side. Awesome. We're going to keep hold of the right leg. Extend the left leg out nice and long. This is where we're going to grab onto our strap or maybe a towel and just wrap it around your right foot. And you're going to start to kick your right heel up towards the sky. I'm going to hold the strap or that towel with my right hand. And that way I can kick all the way up. Try to lengthen your leg as much as possible. Keep your toes nice and flexed so your toes are coming towards your shin. And then start to relax the right hand. Maybe the elbow can even come all the way down to the ground just to help support that leg up to the sky. We'll take 2 more breaths. As you inhale, try to kick the heel up. As you exhale, maybe you try to bring your toes over the head just a little bit more. We're just moving the direction over the head. Take 1 more breath in. And maybe if it feels good to you, maybe you pull it in just a little bit tighter. Breath out. Bring the left hand over your left hip. Press the left hip down. And then very gently start to let the right leg fall over to the right side. If you don't have enough space, know that you can always bend your knee and just let the knee open up towards the right. But try not to let the left hip open up. If we let the left hip open and lift off the ground, then we're starting to create a twist in the spine rather than opening up through the hip. So allow yourself to let that left hip press down and stay grounded. Maybe once again, you pull the strap a little towards the top side of your mat. Take another breath in. And a breath out. 1 more breath in. And a breath out. Try to keep that breath active and conscious the whole class. Using the strength of your right leg, we're going to bring the right leg all the way back up. Grab the strap with the opposite hand. Right hand towards the right side of your mat. And very gently just guiding the right leg towards the left. We're going to let the hips stack over each other. You can look straight up. If you want to look towards your right hand, you can. Trying to glue both shoulders down. And again, keeping the right toes flexed. Keeping that length through the right leg as you're kicking away from the hip. Take 1 more breath in. And release, melt into the mat. Breath out. We're going to slowly rise on up, bringing that right leg all the way up towards the sky. We're just going to bend the knee, remove the strap or the towel. Bring both knees into your chest. Give yourselves a little hug, a little squeeze. Notice how the right side starts to feel a little more open than the left. So let's balance ourselves out. Grab onto the left leg. Let the right leg extend out nice and long. Once again, we're going to grab that strap, that towel, wrap it around the left foot, and start to kick up towards the sky. Holding onto the strap or the towel with your left hand. If you have enough slack on the strap, maybe you let that left elbow come and touch the ground. And now really try to kick up towards the sky. Lengthening through the left leg, feeling the stretch through the back of the inner thigh. And through the calf, and allowing yourself to keep those toes nice and flexed. Take another breath in. Maybe you pull the strap a little over the head. Breath out. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Right hand will come over the right hip. Hold on nice and tight to the strap, just letting the left leg open up towards the left side. Again, as long as this feels comfortable and good for you, without that right hip lifting up. If you don't have the space, you're always welcome to bend into the knee, just holding on to the inner thigh. Hips stay grounded. 2 breaths, inhales through the nose. Exhales, letting that hip open up a little bit more. 1 more breath in. As you exhale, maybe you pull and lift the left leg a little higher. Breath out. Using the strength of the left leg, we're going to kick all the way back up. Switch to the right hand. Let the left arm open up very gently, just letting the left leg fall over towards the right. You'll notice that the hips will stack over each other. Again, if you need to bend the knee, you can keep the gaze up. Maybe you're gazing towards your left and allowing yourself to melt into the mat. We're here. 2 breaths, inhale. And allow yourself to twist, melt the shoulders, breath out. Keep flexing the toes, keep pulling the strap to the top of the mat, breath in. As you exhale, breath out. Slowly kick all the way back up. Once again, very gently, just bend the knee so we can remove the strap. We'll place that off to one side. We're going to bring both knees back into the chest. Give yourself a hug, a squeeze, rock it a little side to side. And we're going to grab behind the thighs, start to rock and roll forward and back. Really help massage your entire spine. Maybe 3, maybe 4 times until you have enough momentum until you come to a tall seat. Find yourself into a seated position. If you need a block to sit under, please go ahead and do so. And we're going to reach all the way up towards the sky, reaching, lengthening the spine. Look up towards your hands, bring your palms together, and then slowly bringing your hands to your heart center. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, open the arms, reach all the way up. And then as you exhale, hands to the heart center. 1 more. Inhale, reach nice and high, grabbing on to that energy, that life force. And then as you exhale, bringing it into your heart center to fill yourself up with energy. Let's reach the arms all the way back up to the sky. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring your right hand down to your side and start to reach your left arm up and overhead. I may be opposite of you. Maybe you're mimicking me. That's perfectly okay. We'll do both sides. Just know as you reach up and away so that that same hip doesn't lift off the ground. I'm trying to keep both hips grounded so I feel a nice deep side stretch. If you need a little bit more space, you can walk the hand out. And if you need to, you can even bend into that elbow, trying to bring the forearm to the ground. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. That's okay. Take another breath in. And maybe you can exhale and release a deeper stretch. Inhale, we'll rise up all the way to the sky. As you exhale, left hand will come down. Right arm will start to reach up and over the head. And breathe. You can look straight forward. Maybe you want to look up to the sky. You can even look toward your left hand or whatever hand is on the ground. And again, I'm almost pressing into that hand on the ground so that I can find a deeper stretch. If you need more space, walk the hand out. Maybe even bend into the elbow. Both hips stay grounded and rooted into the seat. Inhale. And as you exhale, dive a little deeper. 1 more breath in. And a breath out. Slowly reach both arms all the way back up to the sky. Inhale. As you exhale, we're going to create a twist. Left arm will come to your right thigh. Right hand will find its way behind you. Press away from the ground to lengthen the spine. Then look up and over your right shoulder. We really want to create a twist with a nice long spine. That way we're twisting from our thoracic, the middle of our spine. And I'm using that hand on the thigh to help add a little bit more leverage to help twist me open. Let's take 2 breaths. Inhales to lengthen. Exhales to twist. And don't force anything. No need to go deeper than the body wants to. Just notice how the body feels in the twist. Breath in. And twist. Breath out. Reach both arms all the way back up. Lengthen the spine. Inhale. As you exhale, twist to your opposite side. Hand over the thigh. Other hand behind you. Press and lengthen to inhale. Exhales to twist, looking over that opposite shoulder. For me, it's my left. Maybe for you, it's the same. Rights and lefts, especially when we're on video, sometimes go the opposite way. That's okay. We're all just breathing. We're all just stretching, just making shapes. There is no right, there is no wrong, as long as there's no pain in the body. Breath in. And twist, breath out. If there's something that you feel like you may be holding on to, this is the time to release. Inhale. And rinse it out of yourself. Breath out. We're going to come back through center. Take an inhale. Reach the arms all the way up nice and high. As you exhale, we're just going to bring our hands over our knees. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what we're doing next. We're going to move into some cat-cows. So hold onto the knees. Inhale, cow pose. Pull the chest forward, 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 and reach the chin all the way up to the sky, opening the front line of the body. As you exhale, press away from the knees, round the spine. Let the shoulder blades really open. Bring your chin into your chest. So we're opening the back of the heart. Let's move just like that. Inhale, cow pose. Press the heart forward, chin goes high. And then as you exhale, press the heart back away from the knees. One more inhale, reach the heart forward and up, chin high. And then as you exhale, round, curl, pressing the heart back, opening through the back line of the body. Beautiful. Slowly find your way into a nice neutral spine. We're going to come to a stand. Any way you really want to get there. I'm going to roll over my knees, come into all fours, and then just very gently, just bringing one foot forward and then the next. I'm going to keep my feet nice and wide, maybe even wider than the hips. Bend deeply into your knees. I really want to use my legs almost as a shelf for myself. I can keep my hands down. And I'm going to look between my legs. I want to use my head as a way to lengthen and stretch my spine. I can stay right here if I want a little bit more. Maybe I start to sway a little bit side to side. If I want to sway and it makes it easier, maybe you grab onto the elbows, just letting your upper body become a pendulum. And then if it starts to feel good, maybe you even start to stretch a little bit more through the legs. If you're straightening the legs, notice that the weight wants to come to the heels. Try to bring the weight a little further forward onto your toes. We'll take one more breath in. As you exhale, slowly release the hands down to the ground. You're welcome to keep your feet nice and wide, or if you'd like a little bit more of a balance challenge, bringing your feet to touch, big toes together, leaving a slight space between the heels. And nice and gently, we're going to start to roll ourselves up. One vertebrae at a time. No rush. Absolutely no rush to get to the top. Especially after we are sitting, laying down. The head needs to come up last so we don't get dizzy. Once you're there, we're going to reach the arms up nice and high to the sky. And then as we exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. I invite you to close the eyes. Find a gentle bow of the head. Now, this is a time where we set our intention for practice. To really find purpose in why you're here, so that you can move with intention. I invite you to set your own, but if you don't have anything coming to mind, just share mine. Of finding more love, finding more compassion for ourselves, so that we can build that positive energy within us that helps make better decisions, live a happier and healthier life all around. Allowing this to really energize you from the inside out. Take one more breath in. As you exhale through the nose, just to let your intention sink into every cell of your body. We'll blink open the eyes. We'll start to move. Inhale, mountain pose. Pressing into the feet, reaching the arms up nice and high. Beautiful. Really pressing into the ground. Find a slight tuck of the tailbone as the glutes engage. Notice if your ribs are really flaring open, we want the ribs to pull down and in so the core stays nice and engaged. Take one more inhale as you reach high. As you exhale, we're going to create a back bend. Open the arms as like cactuses. Let the hips press forward. Let the heart reach high. Squeeze the elbows down so the shoulder blades pinch together. Press into the heels a little bit more. Beautiful. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach all the way back up. Let the ribs come back in. And then as we exhale, forward fold. If you need to, you can bend the knees. Try to keep a nice flat spine as we lower ourselves all the way down to the ground. Let the head and neck relax nice and heavy. With the hands down, maybe you want to bend into one knee, bend into the other, just to kind of feel and wake up the legs a little bit more. Then come back to stillness. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to bring our hands to either our shins, maybe onto our thighs, trying to create a 90-degree bend in our hip. Notice if the shoulders are still leaning down, pull the shoulders up, creating a nice table, flat table with our spine. Maybe add a little bit of a smile, shift the weight into your toes, inhale. As you exhale, forward fold, once again, just letting the head lead the way, coming all the way down to the mat. Nice. Inhale, mountain pose, reaching the arms forward and all the way up. If you need to bend the knees, please do so. Reach up nice and high. As you exhale, we'll bring our hands to our heart center. We're going to do that little series 2 more times. Inhale, mountain pose. Really reach up, engage the core nice and strong. As you exhale, back bend, cactus the arms, let the ribs open up, heart reaching to the sky, pressing into the heels. Inhale, mountain pose, reaching up high, bring the ribs in. As you exhale, forward fold with a nice flat spine, lowering all the way down to the ground. Let the head and neck relax heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, finding that nice flat table with the spine. As you exhale, forward fold once again. Moving to the breath, inhale, mountain pose, reaching up towards the sky. Knit the ribs in as you exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, mountain pose, knit the ribs, reach up high. As you exhale, back bend, open the ribs, lift the heart, press into the heels. Inhale, mountain pose, knit the ribs back in to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, forward fold, nice and easy to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, letting the head and neck relax heavy. Inhale, mountain pose, reach ups to the sky, nice and strong. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Take a couple breaths here. Notice if your mind starts to wander, can you bring it back? Can you stay present? We might not have moved a lot, or maybe for you, you have. That's okay. Notice how the breath is doing. Is it still shallow? Is it racing? Can we find a nice neutral balance between both, trying to find equal inhales and exhales? I encourage you to breathe in and out through the nose. But if for any reason you feel like you're getting too warm, you're welcome to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. But really always trying to inhale through the nose. It really helps to add more humidity into the lungs. It's really what the nose is for. And then as you exhale, maybe through the nose, maybe through the mouth, whatever feels best for you. We're going to move on into our next sequence. Inhale, chair pose. We're going to bend the knees, sitting the hips back and down and reaching the arms up nice and high. Beautiful. So if you have your toes touching, bring your knees together as well. But if your feet are separate, what we want to do is activate into the inner thigh. So I'm almost like I have a block between my inner thighs and I want to squeeze everything inward. My legs still stay parallel to each other, so I'm not bringing my knees in, but have that activation to help you sit a little bit lower into your chair. Sit, 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 nice and strong. Breath in. As you exhale, we're going to reach the arms down and then back. From here, palms stay facing down. Squeeze the pinkies in towards each other. We're going to create a little bit of a back bend. That's perfectly okay. Letting the heart shine open, adding that love into ourselves. Then inhale, bring the arms forward and up once again. As we exhale, forward fold. Lengthen the legs. Slowly fold down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to lengthen through the spine. As we exhale, we're going to send our left leg all the way to the back of the mat. We'll find a low lunge. We're going to drop the left knee down. Untuck your toes. From here, we're going to reach straight up towards the sky. Beautiful. We want to make sure our front knee is over our front ankle. I'm going to walk my right foot a little further forward because from here, I'm going to start to shift my hips forward and down. We want to keep our hips nice and square, so gently pressing our left hip further forward, and so our right will stay in line. Beautiful. And from here, I can bring my hands to my front thigh, and I want to press away from my thigh. I want to feel a nice deep stretch in the front of the left hip, maybe in the right hip flexors, and I'm lengthening and reaching my heart up. If it feels good, maybe you go a little bit deeper into the pose, letting the hips drop down. But again, use the sense of your body, the awareness that you have to know if you need to go a little bit deeper, if you need to back out of the pose, or if you just need to stay right where you are. We'll take 2 more breaths. Inhale. And sink or stay where you are. Breath out. Adding a little bit more compassion, a little bit love to your hips. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Bring the hips up a little bit. Reach the arms up nice and high. Breath in. As we exhale, we're going to twist left hand to the right thigh. Right arm is going to reach behind us. I want to keep squeezing the inner thighs together. That's what's going to really help create support and balance through the legs in this maybe a bit of an uncomfortable pose. Create stability in this pose and allow yourself to let that right shoulder reach towards the back of your room, finding again the twist as with a nice long spine. Inhale and twist a little deeper on the exhale. One more breath. And open up, let go, twist of what you don't need. Inhale, we'll come back through center, reach both arms up nice and high. We're going to extend the right leg out nice and long. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold towards the right leg, moving into a half splits. If you need them, you can have those blocks, maybe that sturdy water bottle or books, whatever it may be. You can bring the blocks on either side. Really flex into the toes. We want to bring the right toes towards our right shin. If you don't have the blocks, you can just have the hands down by your side, or if that feels like it's too much, you're always just welcome to keep your hands at heart center, flexing the toes. The more we engage the top of the leg, the more the bottom of the leg, the back of the leg, can find itself into a deep stretch. This is going to come really in handy for when we move into our peak postures. We're working it out, lengthening the hamstrings, the calves, so we can find our way into our deeper posture in just a moment. Take another breath in. As you exhale, lean the heart forward towards your toes, maybe even the crown of the head, trying to find that deeper stretch. One more inhale. And exhale. If you have blocks, maybe you want to remove them out of the way. We're going to replant our right foot, bending into our right knee. We're going to bring both of our hands forward, tuck your back toes, and take a gentle step forward, bringing the left foot to meet the right. If you need to, once again, take a little walk, bending into one knee, bending into the other, noticing the left and the right leg. Beautiful. And then from here, inhale. Halfway lift. We're going to lengthen the spine. And then as we exhale, we're going to send the right leg all the way to the back of the mat. We'll find a low lunge, drop the right knee down. Beautiful. You can untuck the toes. Reach both arms up nice and high. And again, I'm going to slide my hips further forward. I know that my knee is going to come forward, so I want to bring my toes, finding that nice perpendicular shin off of the mat. Both hands can come to your left thigh, and I can press away from my thigh, keeping my heart leaning and reaching to the sky. Maybe I can look up, maybe I want to look at a 45-degree angle, whatever feels best for you. And just letting yourself sink into this pose, feeling the stretch wherever you feel it. My body is going to be different than yours, and so honoring our bodies, taking good care of them. That means staying in tune, listening. Does it feel like it's a good enough stretch? Does it feel like it's too intense? Am I trying to prove something to myself? Knowing that we can let go of the ego, again, those things that we can twist and release out. And then we invite more compassion, more love, so that we take better care of ourselves. Take one more breath in. And a breath out. I'm going to bring my hips up so that my hips are over my right knee. Take an inhale, reach both arms high. Squeeze the inner thighs together as you exhale. Twist right onto the left thigh. The left arm goes to the back of your room. I can look towards my left wall, or you can look towards your left hand or your left thumb. If you notice you feel a little wobbly, that's perfectly okay. I'm right there with you. Try to squeeze the inner thighs a little bit more. Use your right hand as leverage on the left knee. Lengthen the spine as you breath. Take a breath in. As you exhale, open up and twist. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Reach both arms all the way back up towards the sky. And then we're going to lengthen the left leg out nice and long, flex the toes, and start to fold forward. Maybe you don't fold forward if you feel like that's too intense for you. Maybe you're grabbing onto the blocks. Maybe the hands are down on the ground. Flex the left toes a little bit more. Really activate the top of the leg, your quadricep, and into your shins. Notice the more you do that, the deeper the stretch. And then from here, try to pull your left hip back in space. As we do that, you'll feel that stretch really intensify a little bit more. And then the more you lean the heart forward, the deeper the stretch goes all the way from the bottom of the feet all the way up through the back of the left side of your body. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale. Maybe if it feels good, you can dive a little bit deeper. And breath out. 1 more inhale. 1 more exhale. Slowly start to bend into the left knee. Replant the left foot. We're going to lift the back leg off of the mat. Hands can come forward. Just take a step forward so the right toes meet the left. Once again, maybe you bend out the knees. Nice and easy. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. From here, inhale, rise all the way back up. Mountain pose, nice and strong. As we exhale with love, with compassion, bring your hands to your heart center. All right, we're going to switch it up so we can move into our peak posture. Inhale, mountain pose, reach up nice and high. As you exhale, chair pose, bending into the knees, sitting nice and low into your chair, hold and breathe. Shift the weight back into your heels. Look down. Can you see all 10 toes? Find a slight tuck of the tailbone. So instead of sticking the booty out, really try to bring the low belly in so we can pull the pelvis towards the ground, really help activating into the core. I over-exaggerate the movement so that when you see it at home, you really get a feel for that, but really want to try to find a nice neutral low spine. Take another inhale. As you exhale, airplane the arms. We're going to shift the arms down and back, squeezing the pinkies towards each other, opening up through the chest. Slowly bring the arms down and forward and back up. Inhale. As you exhale, forward fold, hands come through heart center. We lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Then as we exhale, left leg is going to step all the way to the back of the mat, finding yourself into a low lunge. We're going to keep that back knee lifted this time. Inhale, crescent lunge. Lift the arms up towards the sky. Nice high lunge. Keep the hips nice and square, really strengthening both of the legs, the inner thighs. Feel the belly and the ribs knit inward. Really reach the shoulders and the arms up to the sky. Take 1 more breath in. As we exhale, warrior 2, we're going to drop the back heel and then open the arms forward and back. Beautiful. If we draw a line from our front foot all the way back, we want it to intersect our back foot, maybe our arch, maybe our heel, and maybe you play around with those alignments just to see which one feels better in your body. We really want to keep the hips open towards the left side of the room. So let that left hip open up, and you'll notice that the right knee tends to come in. That's the right hip as well. So we want to actually grab the right knee and press it towards our right pinky toe. Find a nice strong core. Relax the shoulders, but keep the arms active. Finding that warrior. Finding that person, that strength inside of you I can hold this strong. Maybe if it feels good, you can sink a little deeper so the front knee stays over the front ankle. We're going to reverse the palm on the right side, and then we're going to lengthen the right leg, reach the right arm all the way up and back, reverse warrior. There's little to no weight in this left hand. Just find a deep stretch as you pull your right hand to the top back corner of your root. Breathe into the right side lung. Take another inhale, really lengthen and stretch. And then as we exhale, we're going to move into our triangle pose. First, notice that the hips are going to slide towards the back of my mat. Reaching the right arm forward, 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 finding length through the right side of my body. Once I can't reach anymore, right arm will come down, the left arm will reach up high. Beautiful. You want to make a small adjustment here. Micro bend into your right front knee. Beautiful. Keep pressing in towards your right foot to send the hips back. We really want to reach up with the left hand. Right hand can be nice and gentle on a thigh. Maybe you want to grab a block. If you have it in you, maybe you can touch the ground. But again, that's not the intention of the posture. We just want to feel that nice deep stretch through the back of the right leg. If you're feeling it, that is mostly what the intensity of this pose is about. Allow yourself to breathe here. Allow yourself to calm the mind. We've done the stretches, we've warmed up the body. We're allowing ourselves to hold this space, to invite a little bit more love in, to allow that compassion into our body, into our minds, into our soul. Let's take 2 more breaths. Inhale. If you can, open a little deeper into the chest. Exhale. 1 more breath in and a breath out. Inhale, reach all the way up towards the sky. Beautiful. We're going to keep the toes pointed out. The heels are going to come in. Beautiful. And just wiggle the hips a little bit. Make it feel really good. If you want to go a little bit more, maybe you give yourself a nice little high five. Yeah, you're doing great. Awesome. And then we're going to bring both toes nice and parallel to each other. Take an inhale. Reach up, lengthen the spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Once again, with that nice flat spine, allowing ourselves to fold down towards the ground. You can just let your hands relax. If it feels good to widen your stance, maybe you walk 1 foot out and just letting the upper body hang heavy. Whatever is behind you between the legs, just notice what's there. What does it look like when it's upside down? Allowing ourselves to change the perspectives of our lives. Noticing, maybe you're trying to read what a book looks like. Maybe there's a candle. Maybe there's a painting. Maybe it's just another desk. Whatever it may be. Maybe it's the TV. That's all right. Just noticing. Now, interesting. We're always used to looking at that same room in 1 dimension, the dimension of standing up. What happens when you flip everything upside down? And you allow ourselves to just look at it slightly differently, even though it's exactly the same as we've always seen it. Try to shift a little more weight into your toes. Take 1 more breath in. And maybe you melt a little deeper breath out. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands underneath the shoulders and lengthen out through the spine. As you exhale, low lunge. Just walk your hands back to the top of the mat. If you widen your stance, maybe you rearrange the legs. And nice and easy, the same way we did before, just bring that left leg forward, stepping right next to the right. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Once again, inhale, chair pose. The same way we started off the sequence, we'll do it the same here. Shifting the weight into the heels. Your legs should feel a whole lot stronger now, letting yourself sink a little deeper into the pose. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale. Airplane the arms, fly the arms back. Bring the pinkies towards each other as you opening into the chest. Inhale, chair pose. Once again, reaching the arms down, forward and up. As you exhale, forward fold, folding towards the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen the spine. As you exhale, low lunge, we're going to step the right leg all the way to the back of the mat. Beautiful. Keep that back heel lifted. Right leg stays strong. Inhale, crescent lunge, high lunge, reaching the arms up to the sky. Beautiful. Adjust the stance if you need to. Again, always making it work for you. Bring that right hip forward, left hip back. Squeeze the inner thighs to create stability. Reach the ribs in and the arms high. Inhale. As you exhale, warrior two, bring your right foot down. It'll be parallel to the back of your mat. And then open the arms out nice and wide. Again, draw that line from your front foot. Align it with the back arch or with the back heel. And letting the hips open up. Let the right hip pull towards the back of your mat. And then notice if the left knee is caving inward. Make sure your knee is pointing in the same direction as your toes. That way we can let the hips really open up. Engage the glutes. Let the heart lift. Open up the arms. Relax the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Finding strength, but at the same time, finding peace, finding love for yourself. Inhale. Maybe you sink a little deeper into your pose. Exhale. Flip the left palm up. Inhale. Reverse your triangle. Start to lengthen the left leg as you reach up and back. Beautiful. Again, little to no weight in that back hand. Both legs are straight, reaching to the top back corner of your room. You can look up, you can look towards the wall, you can look towards your back foot, whatever's going to feel best in your neck. Take another inhale, reach, reach, reach. Keeping that long left side of the body as you exhale, triangle. Shift the hips towards the back of your mat. Reach forward, forward, forward. Again, a lot of length, a lot of straightness through this left side of the body. When you can't reach anymore, left arm comes down, right arm goes high, and then right away, micro bend. Don't lock the left knee or your front knee if you're on the opposite side. Beautiful. Press into the left foot to send your hips further back. We want to find that nice deep stretch through the back of the front leg. If you need to, hand can come onto your shin. If you have that flexibility, maybe it's touching the ground. Maybe you're using a block. Make this work for you. Again, if your hand is on your shin, maybe on the ground or maybe on a block, the idea is to try to find very little connection to the ground. Rather, reach up higher to try to connect with the ceiling or the sky above you to keep the core super engaged. We're here for 3 more breaths. Try to keep opening up through the chest. Keep pressing the hips back. Keep reaching up to the sky. Breathe. Nice. On your next inhale, we'll reach all the way up. Again, bring your heels in and the toes out. Give it a nice little wiggle of the hips. Make it feel good. Nice little dance. Why not? We'll add a little bit of movement into our lives. A little dance feels great. When you're ready, parallel your feet. Reach the arms up high. And then as you exhale, wide-legged forward fold, hinging from the hips, lowering to the mat. Letting the head and neck hang nice and heavy. And again, if you want, you can just relax the hands. I like to widen my feet to get a little bit deeper into the inner thighs. And then from here, you have options. If you want to do something a little different, maybe this time you're holding onto your toes or reaching down your shins. If you want to, you can walk your hands behind you so that you can find a deeper forward fold. Or if you want to find deeper stretch through the hamstrings, you can try to walk the arms long in front of you, kind of creating this inverted, wide-legged, downward-facing dog. Try to, again, keep the legs long, pressing into the outer edges of the feet, trying to lift up through the sits bones towards the sky. We'll take 1 more breath in and a breath out. Slowly bring your hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, just walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Beautiful. Hands in front of the left foot and just step your right foot forward, finding yourself Once again, into a forward fold. Walk out the legs. Notice how your feet and your legs, the hips, the lower spine is all feeling. Bringing that awareness back into the body. Noticing if the thoughts started to overrun your mind, just to become present once again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, pressing into the ground, reaching up nice and high. As we exhale, hands to your heart center. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Tapping back into your intention. Maybe you're with me sharing mine. How can we invite more self-love in, more self-care, more compassion in for ourselves so that we don't judge ourselves? We're able to look at different scenarios that we put ourselves in with a little bit more compassion so that we allow those negative energies, those negative feelings of maybe judgment, maybe jealousy, to look at ourselves and allow ourselves to feel that compassion for ourselves, allowing us to tap into these beautiful, wonderful healing energies and feelings that we can all have. And so when we live in this way on a regular basis, we look at ourselves, we find ourselves to be a little bit more loving, a little bit more compassionate, and also just helps to keep a healthy body and a healthy mind. Notice what that means for you, or whatever your intention was for today. Tapping into it, acknowledging it, feeling it throughout your body. Emotions are something that we kind of help find a meaning in. The emotion is the actual feeling of it in our body. Take one more breath in. And a breath out. We'll blink open the eyes. We're going to move into our balancing series. We're going to start with our right leg down. If you need a wall or anything to find a little bit more support, please go ahead and do so. But if not, we're just going to lift the left leg up nice and high. Once you find your balance, flex your left toes. Maybe your hands are on your hips. Maybe your arms are just by your sides to help find a little bit more balance. From here, we're going to move into a figure four. I'm going to cross the top of the left ankle. So you'll notice my shin is actually on my thigh rather than twisting my ankle. So we just want to take care of the ankle. The ankle is actually going to pass the thigh, flexing the left foot, hands to the heart center. And when you're ready, we can allow ourselves to sit down. Beautiful. If this feels good, we can stay right here. If you want a little bit more, option to add a little bit more pressure with the hand on the thigh, pressing down. Sitting into your chair, the same way we've been working into that chair pose. Noticing the little wobbles on the leg, that's perfectly okay. 2 more breaths. We're going to slowly rise on up. Try not to let the left foot touch the ground. I'm going to turn sideways. We're just going to bring the left foot behind us. Grab onto the left foot, and we're just going to hold ourselves here into a quad stretch. So try to really grab on, maybe if you can, both hands. If not, you can always grab that strap or that towel we used at the beginning of class and really try to pull the heel in towards the glute. If it feels good here, stay right there. If you want a little bit more, try pressing the hips forward and the knee further behind you to just find a deeper stretch. The front of the left hip and through the quad. Noticing how the body feels, the little wobbles. If you fall out, you can get right back in. We're here for 2 more breaths. When you're ready, just slowly release the left leg down. Shake out the right leg. Well done, well done. I'm going to turn towards you so we can do the opposite side. Shifting the weight to the left leg. Slowly lift the right leg up nice and high. Maybe you reach the arms to the sky. We'll find that figure 4. Once again, above the ankle, just that low part of the shin is on the thigh. keeping your right toes flexed, and then starting to sit into your chair. Your hands can even find your heart center. Adjust yourself if you need to. Allow yourself to breathe. Again, if that feels good and you want a little bit more, maybe you're just pressing the right knee gently down. Again, never forcing anything. Using this time to add a little bit more love to the body, finding that flexibility of the hips, finding that openness of space so that we can invite more love, more compassion in. Find a point of focus. Maybe it's whatever you're looking at on the screen. Maybe it's in your room. But allow that point of focus to help you find a little bit more stability. One more breath, inhale. And exhale. Start to rise. Try not to let the right foot touch the ground. We'll find a quad stretch. Just kick the right foot behind you. Holding on, maybe with one arm, maybe with both. Maybe you're using that strap we use at the beginning of class. And again, maybe you just stay right here and breathe. If that feels good. If you want to go a little bit deeper, press the hips forward. Try to kick the knee back and still try to pull the heel in towards the glute. You'll find just that deeper stretch to the hip flexors, the psoas, the quad, finding your balance. Once again, your drishti, your point of focus, and breathe. We'll slowly release the right leg. Bring the right foot down. Shake out the left leg. Maybe both. Beautifully done. You're doing awesome. Hopefully the body is starting to feel even better now. We'll reach all the way back up to the sky. Take a big inhale, mountain pose. As you exhale, forward fold to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Shift the weight onto the toes. As you exhale, we're just going to take a seat. Any way you want to get there. I like to place my hands down. And again, with control, lifting the heels. And I'll just bring my hands behind me, finding a seat. We're going to move into a seated forward fold. If you need to elevate the hips, maybe you sit onto a block or onto a bolster, on a pillow, whatever may be accessible for you. Or maybe if you absolutely need to, you can just keep the knees bent. We'll reach the arms up nice and high, lengthen the spine, inhale. As you exhale, seated forward fold. You can grab onto your shins, onto your ankles, maybe onto your toes. Notice if the spine already rounded all the way in. Really want to try to keep a nice long spine, so lift up through the chest, maybe even look forward. And then as you exhale, pull the chest forward. Notice if the knees are in the way, you can walk the heels out a little bit more as long as that feels comfortable for you. Maybe one day the legs fully touch the ground. Pull the chest all the way forward, and then just gently let the head relax as the chin comes into the chest. Keeping that spine nice and long. Breathe into the low spine. Try to create a little bit more space between every vertebrae. Inhale. As you exhale, can you fold a little bit deeper? I know you can. You're doing great. 2 more breaths. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Lengthen the spine. Exhales to fold you in as deep as it feels good to you. Using the hands slowly, just walk the spine all the way back up. We're going to slide the hips forward to the top of your mat. Reaching the arms in front of you, we're going to use our core to lower ourselves down nice and easy for 4. For 3, start to look up. For 2. And 1, bringing the spine all the way down. We're going to bring our heels nice and close to the glutes. As close as it feels comfortable to you. We should all be able to tickle our heels with our hands. If you can't get there, just try to go as close as you can. Bring your hands down onto the mat nice and flat. by your sides and then pressing into the heels. Inhale, bridge pose. We're going to lift the hips up. Beautiful. The same way we're in that chair pose, we want to squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Press the hands down. Try to lift the hips a little bit higher. Beautiful. We're going to take 3 breaths here. Try and lengthen and lift the tailbone to the sky. Inhale. Hold and exhale. Inhale, can you lift a little bit higher? And exhale, hold. Last one, if you want, you can lift the heels. Inhale, try to come up high onto the tippy toes. How high can you go? And then as you exhale, slowly drop the heels and very slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time with no rush, letting the whole spine touch the ground. Beautiful. We're going to bring both knees into our chest, giving yourselves a little hug and squeeze. Maybe rock the tailbone up and down off the mat. And then we're just going to let the left toes come back down to the ground. Still in about that 90-degree position. We're going to fall back into another figure 4. So this time we're just doing it reclined. Again, the bottom of the shin is on the thigh. I can use my right hand to gently just press that right hip away. And my left arm can just either be by my side, maybe I find it on my heart center. Allowing yourself to take 3 deep breaths here. Maybe if the heart, the breath are racing, using this time to slow it back down, to find ourselves back in our own balance, finding those equal inhales and exhales. 1 more breath in. And a breath out. We're going to slowly release the right leg down. We're just going to switch it out, bringing the left foot up. Bottom of the shin over the thigh. And again, maybe that left hand is now starting to press gently that left knee away. Letting the upper body try to relax as much as possible. Keep your left toes, or the toes that are floating in the air, flexed. And again, maybe that opposite hand just comes and finds your heart center. If you breathe deeply and slowly enough, can you feel your heartbeat? Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Feel that love that beats for you every single time. Exhale. 1 more breath in. Maybe you give a little gratitude for the heart, for all that it does, for always filling you with blood every single second of the day. We'll slowly release both heels to the mat and just widen the stance. So we're going to bring our heels maybe even off the mat. Beautiful. Open the arms out like a T and just very gently just let the knees fall to one side. Notice that the knee that's going to be on the inside or on the top doesn't have to touch the ground, just as good as it may feel, just to find that bit of range of motion of internal and external rotation of the hips after all that hip work we've done, just so that the body knows that we're using the full mobility of that ball and socket in the hips. And then go maybe one more time to the opposite side. Bring the knees back up, just gently walking the feet back in, bringing both knees into our chest, giving yourselves a little hug and a squeeze. Beautiful. From here, we're going to grab onto the right leg, extend the left leg out nice and long. Beautiful. We're going to grab onto the shin, and instead of pulling the knee towards our heart center, pull it to the outside of the body, towards your armpit, and squeeze it in. Take an inhale. And really squeeze it in on the exhale, using the inner thigh to kind of add a little pressure to the outside of the belly. Take 1 more breath in. And we're going to create a twist. With the left hand, I'm going to hold the right knee, open the right arm to the side, and just letting the hips roll over each other. As you start to twist, notice if that right shoulder starts to lift. We want to keep both shoulders down on the ground. Maybe you're in cactus arms, maybe You can extend the right arm. And notice that there is a space between the ground and your right knee. That's perfectly okay. We're not necessarily meant to touch the ground. If you have a lot of flexibility in the spine, one day it'll touch. But again, that's not the point of this. The intention of this is to help the spine twist. As we do that, we allow less back pain. We allow the healing of the spine. Every little sponge-like material between each vertebrae allows ourselves to release the liquids that it holds on, synovial fluids. And every single time when it gets reabsorbed, we're using that sponge-like material to allow ourselves to come back in to heal. Noticing if it starts to feel really intense, back out of it. Letting that knee fall a little bit higher. Maybe you can even grab a block and place it underneath the thigh. There's always modifications we can do for our bodies, just learning to take care of it in the way that it needs, but paying attention to the signals it sends us. Those are normally dictated in emotions. Maybe it's a little bit of pain. Maybe it's uncomfortableness. But when we pay attention, we can find that awareness in our body. The beautiful thing is that these bodies are really meant to are so smart that they really just send us signals of what we feel. And then we pay attention so we notice what's going on internally. When you're ready, slowly bring your knees back into your chest. Very slowly, very gently. Again, finding that love, that compassion for yourself. Allowing maybe a couple of rocks of the hips up and down just so that the spine comes into a neutral spine. And then hold the left leg, extend the right leg out nice and long. Squeezing the left knee in towards the left side of the body. Really compressing in to that left side of the ribs. Inhale. And you pull it in a little tighter, exhale. We're going to move into that twist. Right hand can grab the outer left thigh. Left arm will reach to the opposite side and just letting the left knee open itself to twist the spine. Again, if the left shoulder lifts off the mat, we have gone a little too high. Where it feels good with that left shoulder still grounded, you can look up, maybe you can look towards the left hand. And allowing yourself to breathe. We're here for about 4 breaths. Nice and deep. Still with those same length inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, we'll slowly roll back onto the back. Bring both knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Maybe a little forward and back, massaging the whole spine. When you're ready, just slowly release the legs. Walk them out long in front of you. We're going to move ourselves into our Shavasana. Let the right toes fall right, left toes fall left. Arms will be long by your side. Both palms facing up towards the ceiling. And allowing yourself to gently close the eyes if they're not already there. We'll take a body scan just so that as we move through each part of the body, we allow it to relax and soften without holding any tension or any stress in it, any active engagement, and allowing ourselves to surrender. We'll start from the crown of the head, the tallest part of the skull, moving down the head, passing through the third eye center right between the eyebrows, through the temples, the ears, the cheeks, the jaw, even the nose, softening through the mouth, the chin, down the neck, shoulders, down the arms, elbows, into the hands and into the fingertips. Relaxing the chest and the upper back. Relaxing the ribs and the rib cage, the abdomen, the low back, the top of the hips, the top of the legs, down the quads and the thighs, down the knees, into our shins, our calves, slowly moving down the body, into the ankles, the feet, down the soles of the feet and into the toes. Once you find yourself in that full relaxation, we'll take one more breath in through the nose. And then just exhale, let it go, melt into the mat. Just breathe. I will guide us out when it's time. If you need a little bit more time, please go ahead and take it. Stay right as you are. If you're ready to wake back up, We'll start to deepen into the breath, inhaling into the belly. Open the mouth, exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale into the belly, into the chest. And exhale the chest and then the belly. 1 more, as deep and as loud as it feels good. Inhale. Open the mouth, maybe you sigh it out. Start to add some movement into your fingertips, into your toes. Maybe you roll out the wrists, start to roll out the ankles. If you went in one direction, reverse. Maybe you drop the chin side to side. When you're ready, we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. Reaching the arms above you, bringing your big toes to touch. Find a full body stretch as you inhale. Feel the low belly lift up to the sky. As you exhale, we're going to bend our knees and then roll over onto one side. Using our bottom bicep as a pillow, bringing our top hand towards our heart center. Allowing ourselves to find, again, a little bit of time to find love for ourselves, for showing up, for giving ourselves this amount of time to move the body, to feel that love, that compassion flow into us as we continue to look for it and energize our body so that then we can give it back to the world. If there's any intentions you want to set, maybe for the remainder of the day, maybe for the week, do that now. And as always, find a little bit of gratitude for yourself, for your body, for your love. Very gently, slowly start to just press yourselves up into a comfortable seat. The eyes will remain closed. And we'll find ourselves with our hands at our heart center. We're just going to close out class with one deep breath. Really fill into the belly, into the chest. Expand as much as possible. Fill in with love. And exhale, just let go. Release anything that doesn't serve you in this moment of time. We'll bring our hands to our third eye center, our center of intuition. And with the love and the light in me, I honor and appreciate the love and the light in you. We gently bow forward. Say namaste. I hope you're feeling really, really good, finding that moment of calm, that peace, that inner self-love that you've given yourself for taking this class and for doing the work. Again, my name is Alejandro. If you have any questions on anything we did, any feelings that you might have, let us know down below. That way we can continue to serve you in the best way that we can. As always, continue to know yourself, be yourself, and choose happy every day of your life, knowing that these are choices that we get to do, the inner exploration and choosing the feelings that we want to have every day so that we can live the life that we choose. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you very soon in another video, maybe online, maybe in a retreat. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.